Hey guys, this is Lori with Ellen's Crafty Creations, and I am here to share a project for countrycraftcreations.com. This is my August Craftology box project. If you are not aware, countrycraftcreations.com has what we call Craftology boxes, and you can purchase them. It's a monthly kit, and you get all kinds of goodies in them. For example, in this kit this month, I got the entire paper collection to make this. Let's see, the sticker sheet that comes with it, the seam binding, and then every kit came with these cute little charms that match the collection. I'll show you those more in a minute. It's a really great kit. So you can make, I choose to make an album with mine. Other people just do scrapbook layouts, which one of these boxes soon I'll just be doing 12 by 12 layouts. Or you can choose to do just whatever you want. So it's a really great value, and a lot of stuff comes in the kit. So if you're not familiar with it, I'll put the links down below and you can go and check it out. So this is my project I made for this month, and on the cover here I put this paper with a little Mary Poppins figure here. It says "Let the Adventure Begin." I have some seam binding on the bottom here that came in our kit. And this little thing, it's kind of like a shaker, but it doesn't shake very much because I didn't make it a full shaker. This was a sticker from the collection, the whole thing, the frame, and then the inside part was a sticker. So all I did was stick this part of the sticker on acetate and cut it out. And then I traced around it on another piece of paper to get the back of it. And then I stuck this sticker down so it would show through the frame. And then I sprinkled my little sequins here, and the frame already had these holes in them, so the brads came in the kit. They were Bow Bunny brads. So I just punched the holes and stuck the brads in the kit and just glued them both together all along the sides, and I thought turned out really cute. So it shakes a little bit, but not a lot. So here on the spine I have a Tim Holtz little jump ring, and these are two colors of seam binding that I actually had in my stash because I didn't want to add the red because I already had it on the side. And then I added these adorable charms that Tamara had custom made for this kit. They are just so cute. This is the little Mickey Mouse key. And then here is the back, and it's just paper. I left the little Disneyland thing right there. So on the inside, this is an odd shaped mini. It's like 5 1/4 by about 8 inches. So on the inside, I didn't do anything on the cover. I just left it plain with this license plate paper because I thought it was cute. I actually had to piece two pieces together to get this because I had used all the paper by the time the project was finished. So on some of the pages I've done this like angled pocket here, and it's open on this side. These are this is a sticker from the collection that I mounted on cardstock, and this is actually fussy cut from one of the 12 by 12 papers, and I fussy cut several of those out and stuck them throughout the album. So in the inside, I just have the tags came in the album, and I attempted to make a tag, and it was a disaster. So I'm not a tag person, unfortunately. I have a 4x4 here. Those fit back in here. And inside the angled pockets, each one I did a booklet, and I left it blank so you could put 4 either portrait or landscape photos on these booklets. And I did count this time, and the album does hold 53 photos if you put all the mats in there that I did. And then on each side pocket I have these Pullout Mats, and then I have this cute tab at the top, and I always like to tell y'all what I use to make that, and it's this real estate punch here. It's by EK Success. It's actually called the Real Estate Punch. It's just the label, and I punch half of it twice, and then I do my tab. It's my favorite one. So I won't pull all those out, but they're the same. They measure 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. So turn the page. On this side, this is actually a double flaps here. So on this one I have the 4x4 cut apart, a little "Are We There Yet" sticker, and then Open this flap and you have this teeny tiny little pocket. This is a sticker that I mounted on cardstock and just added some of the ribbon front that came in the kit, and then just two little cut aparts, and you could put photos on the back. So when I was counting how many photos this would hold, I included the backs of these. Nice spot for a photo there. And then on this side, same thing, there's a cut apart here and a little sticker I mounted on cardstock. And let's see if I can get, it's kind of a long book. So a nice space for a photo here, and again, a sticker I mounted on cardstock, and then two cut aparts. I thought the travel log was really cute. It was kind of an odd collection in that it's like a road trip to Disney / camping collection, but I think the album overall came together well. Here, again, another one of those Mickeys, a sticker from the collection there. There is another one of those adorable charms. If you can see that, it's a little Ferris wheel. This was ribbon that was in the collection, and it is just a plain waterfall. And I've been trying to sneak in waterfalls in my projects lately because it just gives you so much more real estate for photos. And this whole flap flips up or over, and you can put a 4x6 there as well as one there, or two smaller photos. And this is just a sticker from the collection. All of the stickers on the actual pages, I left them popped up so you could tuck something underneath them. Here, my little arrow is getting damaged, I think, by the waterfall. Let me just glue that down. This is a sticker here, and here I took one of the cards that came in our kit was gold, so I punched a larger circle and then two smaller 1-inch circle and made my own little Mickey ears here out of that gold card. Here I stuck this in here. This also came in the add-on of our kit, and it's just a space for two smaller photos or journaling. There, another tag here, and then again that booklet that opens up, and then the stone paper there. And hopefully that will, I think my waterfall is messing with my sticker. So here, again, I have the two flaps that open out. So on this side, I kind of doctored this sticker a little bit. I cut they had flags like this on the sides, and I cut those off, and I put these two on cardstock. And here, again, that little pocket, another two stickers. This is again left open, and then just two cut aparts from the collection. And then on the other side, I have this sticker here, and I fussy cut these tickets from the collection from one of the 12x12 papers, and I just stuck them there. And this opens, and in this one I just put a 4x4 cut apart for a photo mat. And then again, I took another one of the stickers and mounted on cardstock and added some of that ribbon I had left. And again, they all have the pull-out mats at the top, or side, whatever you want to say. So here I have whatever you call this, like a policy envelope style closure. These brads, again, they came with a collection, and they weren't brads from the collection. They were actually Bo Bunny brads, but they came in the kit is what I meant to say. So again, another cut apart, a sticker. These open this way, and you just have two spaces for photos here, and then you can tuck a photo underneath this little sentiment here. And this just winds back up. I used American Crafts twine for that closure. On this side, again, I just mounted this large sticker on cardstock. Again, I did a Mickey, and then in this pocket I just put my booklet, and that was it. And the last page, I loved this camera paper, so I put that here, and then there's a sticker from the collection there, and then I used this black ribbon that came in our kit. And then again, another little Mickey there, and then there's that ticket paper. So I think the album overall turned out really cute. It's fairly simple, so I'm going to go ahead and go through the tutorial with you guys now, and it's going to be really quick. And I'm actually going to just use my, I have some cheap cardstock that I'm getting rid of, so I'm just going to kind of throw this together using my ATG gun, because I'm just going to throw it away when I'm done, so just for the tutorial sake of showing y'all what's going on. So for the base pages, you're going to cut 5 pieces at 4 3/4 by 7 1/2, and then you're going to cut 5 pieces at 5 3/4 by 7 1/2. You're going to score on the 5 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end of the paper, and then fold on your score lines and burnish. And I'll just put one together with you guys. I already have the other ones put together. And again, I'm just going to use ATG tape, but I recommend using either score tape to put your albums together, or my favorite adhesive art glitter glue, which is what I use to put mine together. I'm just going to stick that right on top to give us our base page here, okay? So now for page 1, we have the angled pocket. So let me show you how I do that. I wish I would have already done the other two. I guess I'll do them all at the same time. I wish I would have cut the other two. So what I'm going to do here is the pocket is cut at 8 inches by 4 1/2. You're going to score on the 8 inch side at 1/2 inch and on the 4 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch. So you have a little L going on here for your score lines, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and miter my corner here on the end, and I'm going to fold all my score lines and burnish. And I'm actually going to go ahead and do that to all 3 of these pockets, because I should have already had 2 of them done, so you only had to see 1, but alas, I did not. But it will be quick. So to make our angled pocket, what we will need to do, take your ruler and a pencil, and let me scoot you in just a little bit. It's as far as I can go there. So I'm going to measure from the top left of this. I've got my Tim Holtz ruler here, and I'm going to measure over 2 inches and make a mark at the top of the page. So you can see my 2-inch pencil mark, and notice that my flaps are all folded inward, okay? So that 2-inch mark doesn't include your 1/2 inch flap, alright? And then I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to put my ruler down, and I'm going to measure 2 inches from this side. So I have a mark up here, and then I have a mark over here. And then all I'm going to do is connect those marks together using my ruler. So I'm going to put my pencil mark here and line my ruler up with the other pencil mark and draw a line. Okay? There's my line connecting my 2 marks. And then I'm just going to, you could use your trimmer to cut it if you want to. I'm just going to use my scissors really quick. And that's how I got my angled pocket. Now, let's go ahead and do the other 2. Now to mat these pockets, what you're going to need to do is cut your design paper to 3 3/4 by 7 1/4 to mat this pocket with decorative paper, okay? 3 3/4 by 7 1/4. Remember that. And then instead of measuring over 2 inches over, you'll measure 1 3/4 inches over on your designer paper on each side. You'll draw your pencil line to connect them together and cut it, and it should mat this pocket perfectly. Or at least near perfectly, right? In a perfect world. So combine my marks. I'm going to go ahead and make my mark on the other one and then combine it. And then these will be done. Okay, now we're done. We shouldn't have to really measure or draw anymore. This is it until you start matting. Okay, now we're done with that. So I'm going to take my first base page that I just created, and I'm going to add adhesive to this pocket. And then I'm going to put it at the bottom left-hand corner of this base page. Okay, and that's it for that page. So we're going to turn this over, and on the back of this we're going to have the two flaps. So let me grab those. And those flaps, yes, I need my ruler to make sure that I'm getting the right flaps. I'm going to go ahead and get another base page out and stick it here, because these kind of mirror each other. So your flaps need to be cut, and you need to actually cut 6 of these flaps for your album at 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. Score on the 5 1/4 side at 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to fold on my score line and burnish. And you do need to miter your corners here, because I'm going to tuck this in on the base page. So I'm going to add my adhesive on the inside of the flap, and then I'm just going to put it right inside here. Sorry for the interruptions. My husband keeps texting me. He's at work today, so I'm trying to stay focused. Okay, so now we have our flap here. So on these flaps we're going to add these tiny pockets. They are cut. You're going to want to cut 4 of these at 1 1/2 inches by 5 5/8 of an inch. You're going to score on the 1 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch, and on the 5 5/8 inch side at 1/2 inch on both ends. So miter your corners just like you would any other pocket. Oops. So you get these tiny little wing flaps here. Just fold on your score lines and burnish. And you don't have to add these if you don't want to, but I like tucking things into my pockets, in little pockets, so it's cute. I'm going to add my adhesive, and I'm going to stick this down all the way to the left of the pocket, and you're going to have a little gap on the right hand side when you put it down, and that's okay. See how I have a gap there? That's all right. It's going to allow for your flap to bend and fold properly. So that's it for that flap. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So let's take our flap here, 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. Again, I'm going to miter my corners. Add my adhesive to the inside of the flap, and I'm going to put it on the inside right hand side of this base page, and then I'm going to add my little tiny pocket. I did not use any magnets at all in my album. You can choose to do so if you would like, but I didn't find a need. I'm going to add this time on the right hand side of the flap, lining it up all the way. And there's my little pocket. So these 2 pages are done. I'm going to flip this page over, and which one is this? On this page, we have the waterfall feature. So, for the waterfall, you're going to want to cut your base piece to 4 1/4 by 6 3/4 and score on the 6 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch and fold on your score line and burnish. And I'm going to go ahead and add these flaps before I add this to the base page. So for your waterfall flaps, you're going to want to cut 5 flaps at 4 3/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches, and then you'll score on the 4 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch, and you'll have 5 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and fold on my score lines and burnish all 5. I hope my camera's not, seems like it's freezing up for you guys. Let me back it out a bit. It's been acting up lately. I think it's our Wi-Fi. It's really annoying. Okay. So, and we're going to do this just like any other waterfall. I'm going to add my adhesive to the outside of the flap. And I'm going to line it up at the very top where the hinge is. And just make sure you get it lined up on all the sides and press down. If you've never done a waterfall before, then you fold that flap up. I'm going to add adhesive to my next one on the outside. And I'm going to place it right under where this one ends. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I get all the way to the end. And it should line up just perfectly with the end of this base page. So when you flip it over, you have still room for another 4x4 photo here. So close that. Now we're going to miter the corners on the flap that you just placed all the pages on. And then we're going to put our adhesive on the inside here. Whoops, got a little off there. And then I'm going to tuck it on the inside of the page. And I'm just going to center it because it's going to be a little bit short on each side. And there is the waterfall flap. And it will look like, well, if you decorate it like mine, it looks like this. And I have found that it didn't need a magnet or anything, it just stays nice and flat on its own. So, as you saw right there, the next page, get another base page, and we're just going to do our angled pocket, which I've already cut. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the adhesive here. And then we're going to line that up on the left-hand side. Super easy. And then the next one is the 2 flaps again. So again, these are 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish both of them. You need a flap on this page and then again on the other base page here. And I'm going to miter the corners. And can you believe we're almost done with putting the album together? Why couldn't it have taken me that long the first time? I thought I was never going to get finished with that album. You know, when you're trying to figure out all the designs of the pages yourself, it just takes forever, it seems. Because I can't tell you how many times I threw away a page because I didn't like the way it looked. This one doesn't want to go in here. There it goes. So you're going to put your flap on the left hand side of this base page, and let's go ahead and grab the other flap, add adhesive, and put it on the right hand side of the other base page since they mirror each other. I'm going to grab our last two teeny pockets and miter our corners on both. And I'm going to do this one first over here. I'm going to fold on those score lines. Burnish really good so your pockets and flaps and everything stays flat. And I'm going to put this one all the way on the left hand side of this flap. And close that. Done with that one. And then I'm going to add this one on the right hand side of the other flap. Do I sound like a broken record? Whoops. There we go. Add that pocket there. That flap is done, and so is that page, so turn it over. And we're almost done. Here I did the double flaps. So it's the same 5 1/4 by 4 3/4 flaps, except for I'm going to add them both onto this page. So I'm going to fold on my score lines and burnish. Go ahead, miter those corners. And then I'm just going to add, doesn't matter which one you add first, I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive on the inside of the flap, and I'm going to add it on the left hand side first. And then I'm going to do the same onto this one, add adhesive, but I'm going to add it on the right hand side of the base, same base page. Just make sure when you're doing this you don't go over those score lines. Make sure it folds nice and clean. And then for my closure here I did the policy envelope closure, but you could choose to do a magnet or a ribbon tie or whatever you wanted. So for our last base page, there's the angled pocket, which we've already cut and done our angle on. So I'm just going to add my adhesive and go ahead and add this one here. And that's the last part, guys. Super easy, right? Because on the next page, all I did was mat it, so I left it blank. And that's it. There's our entire album. Super quick and simple, really easy gift. Let me give you, I did mention when I was walking through it that our pull-out mats are measured at 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. What else? You could make them 4 1/2, but it's going to be a tight squeeze back into the base page. And I cut 5 of those, of course. If you want to cut these booklets out that I put in the pocket, you're going to want to cut them at 6 1/4 by 8 1/2, and then score on the 8 1/2 inch side at 4 1/4. And that'll give you these booklets, and they hold a 4 by 6 photo with a little black border around them perfectly. So is that all that I made? I didn't do anything on the covers because, like I said, I had used all of my paper, and I wanted to do some features on the front and back cover, but I just didn't have enough paper. So because I had made the book so long, I needed long strips to be able to mat any features I put here in, so I just ran out. These photo mats are, of course, 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then, of course, the cut aparts I do 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And that's all that I can think to tell you. Just flip through one more time and make sure there's not something that I am missing. And that's all I've got for you guys. So on my, if you've never done this before with adding charms, I added this Tim Holtz jump ring. So I chose my paper for my binding first, and then I punched a small hole in the paper, and then added this jump ring brad, and then I just tied the seam binding on. Is all that is. So it's super easy. When I tie my seam binding around here, I actually tie it, I put a strip of tape on the back of this page, and then I lay my seam binding down, and then I flip the page over and bring it up, and then I tie my bow. So if you're not familiar with seam binding, and that's all that I know to tell you guys. I know I'm forgetting something because I usually do. Oh, I did put the binding measurements down. I left 1/2 inch gussets. So as you can see right here, you have a lot of space in between your pages here. You can do smaller gussets if you choose, but I like to do 1/2 inch because if I wanted to, I could really go to town on embellishing this thing. That's not my style, but it may be yours. So you could really put, you know, some flowers here if you wanted to, um, and you see that you have that space for that. So just so you know, your chipboard, of course, my measurements are always listed down below. I try to write and type those out for you guys. So your chipboard, you're going to need to cut 2 pieces at 8 inches by 5 1/4, and then 1 piece at 5 1/4 by 3 inches to get, if you're going to do the 1/2 inch gussets like I did. And I give you those measurements for the binding as well. I was going to tell you one more thing and it just left me. Don't you hate it when that happens? Oh yeah, I have, if you're new to mini album making, which I know a lot of you are, I already have a video on my channel as to how I create and cover my chipboard and do my binding. I'm going to do an updated one pretty soon because I don't use as much score tape as I used to anymore, and I use more glue, um, just because I like the glue, and the score tape seems to pull away over time in the humid temperatures here in Texas. So I like to use glue. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope the video didn't jump around too much for you because I know that my camera is freezing up a little bit on me. So I'll work on getting some better camera options so you don't have to deal with that. But I hope you like the album, and check out countrycraftcreations.com for all the supplies to make it. So thanks for watching.